Hello everyone, and welcome to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. My name is NtR, and today we're going to have a 1v1 on Langreskaya. One of our heroes today is back by popular demand, and that is going to be NtRs Ippert. We saw him last playing against Von Ivan in a fantastic game, and well, people just wanted more of him, and Ippert, well, graciously gave us another replay, so we will check him out. His enemy today is going to be the tongue twister, Mr. Harjukurnuttaja. Harjukurnuttaja. Harju. We're just gonna call him Harju, okay? Harju. Anyways, he's gonna be playing for the for the Germans, and Ippert, if I didn't mention, was playing for the Soviets. So anyways, nothing out of the ordinary so far in the game. We have Ippert getting himself conscripts, second conscript hitting the field right now, running through that road. And we have Harju getting himself tier 1 and building grenadiers. Now we hear the first engagement down here in the southern munitions point. We have a combat engineer for Ippert running into this house, harassing the pioneers. Pioneers will be able to capture the point. There is a grenadier squad following up, but the pioneers are just simply going to run away and go all along their merry-old way. Probably going to go capture that fuel point, I would assume. The combat engineers for Ippert are still staying in the house, just surveying the area because, well, it provides some a decent amount of view range. He can actually view almost into the house, basically. And that point, so, yeah. Combat engineers do jump out of the house, noticing that there's nobody nearby, and they are going to start trying to decap that munitions point. Over on the right-hand side, we have conscripts engaging against grenadiers long range across the road. Conscripts are in heavy cover, and the grenadiers are not in cover themselves, so they will actually win that fight if Harju doesn't shift the position of his grenadiers. Combat engineers do get pushed off of the point by the grenadiers, and they jump back into the house just to be, well, incredibly annoying. Grenadiers decide to cancel that firefight and run up to the victory point. We have the conscripts for Ippert, the brand new ones hitting the field. They'll probably go into support into the center. And we have the other conscript squad just going on the edge, capturing territory. Molotovs already researched for Ippert, going right down on top of that grenadier squad. One of them actually catches fire. One of the conscripts does get shot in the gut and falls down dead right in the middle of the road. And down to 2 men on that grenadier squad, following it up with that other conscript squad forces the retreat. So these conscripts should be able to capture the point, although they do decide to just walk onto the fire for some reason, and one of them ignites in front of their eyes. Combat engineers trying to decap again that munitions point do get forced away by an MG42 by Harju, and a grenadier was following up on the flank, so very nice retreat there by Ippert. The combat engineers actually make it out alive without any losses. Fourth conscript squad getting produced for Ippert. We have 2 Grens and an MG42 only for Harju. No follow-ups just yet on anything else. Conscripts capturing the entire right-hand side. We see a conscript squad taking some shots by the grenadiers on the house. They do throw a Molotov onto the house, and the grenadiers are forced to evacuate. MG42 setting up to defend this cutoff, or well, strategic point. They do manage to actually take it before the MG42 opens up. MG42 tries to refocus on the other conscript squad going in for the flank, but only manages to get itself pushed back. Harju does only back off a little bit and set up again to be able to shoot at both conscript squads, who are now on the open. Down goes the burst, forcing one away instantly. Second squad is now down to 4 men, taking a lot of fire from both sides. One grenadier squad was down to 1 man, so was staying there trying to get that kill, but unfortunately is forced to retreat at 3 men. Harju now taking this opportunity to push back into the map. This squad is going to need to retreat, but it's probably going to stay there capturing that point while this one pushes forward. Conscript squad coming up to intercept this grenadier squad, while in the center we have an engagement from pioneers and a conscript squad. Probably another Molotov will be tossed at one of these squads at some point. One can only assume. No. Yeah, Molotov does go down, but the grenadiers have already dodged that, and they decide to run away out of the point and into the light cover of these cut wood. I don't know, it's just pieces of wood there on the floor. Conscripts do lose one of their men and decide to back off a little bit. Both of them at 5 men, one's currently engaging. We are now up to 5 conscript squads for Ippert, and we see that Harju is getting himself a 4th grenadier squad. Quite interesting. MG42 moving up to this strategic point, setting up to support this Grenadier Squad. Grenadier Squad, though, is now down to 2 men. Second Conscript Squad was coming in for a flank, but it noticed that it was probably in the arc of fire of that and backs off and starts to engage the other Grenadier Squad, currently taking that victory point. 2 more Conscript Squads following up on this one. This Grenadier Squad's going to have to evacuate really quick. First Conscript Squad touches the point to prevent the cap, and now this Grenadier Squad is in a lot of trouble. Rifle nade could go down, but it's not going to do a lot of damage, and the Grens are simply just running in between the conscripts, down to 2 men. We hear the engagement over here on the right-hand side. It looks like this conscript managed to actually get the flank on the MG42, throw a Molotov, and force the retreat of both squads. Down to 1 man on this Grenadier Squad, manages to run through the hedge, out of the line of sight of these conscripts, while another conscript squad is forced off of the field at 2 men. So very lucky Grenadier there. Gren Squad shifting position to meet this conscript running through the gap. They are going to run into the house and set up a nice space of fire there. Conscripts taking the point over here, so we now see pretty much Ippert in a dominant position right now in the game. As far as territory goes, he is controlling more than half the map. Grenadier Squad's win MG42 run into this point. They will be able to open up and do a lot of damage to this conscript squad, but a nice Molotov falls right on top of the man with the LMG. The LMG is unable to finally set up, and it's just shifting position, not opening up on the conscripts. There it goes, finally sets up, throws a small burst, shifts position, and starts opening up on the conscripts. Conscripts now down to 4 men, down to 3. 3 on 2 with the LMG. They should be able to win. That is the Grenadiers. But down at 1 man, he decides not to risk it and is going to retreat. Conscripts jump out of the house over here. We see a Molotov falling down on top of another Grenadier Squad, down to 1 man on that Grenadier, and the conscripts are going to retake that victory point. Tech-wise, we have no additional tech for either player right now. We do see a med bunker go down for Harju. He's going to get all those Grenadiers back up to full strength. Pioneers over on the left-hand side for Harju are just simply standing there doing nothing right now, so could queue them up and try to capture a little bit more territory if possible. 2 Grenadier Squad converging in the center. We see that Ippert has selected his doctrine and he's gone with the combined arms, guard rifle combined arms tactics. That is going to give his 5 conscript squads a lot of value and give him the option of still getting those guards. So not bad. Rifle nade going down on 1 conscript squad, taking some losses there, down to 3 men on that conscript squad. There is a second conscript squad in the point there for support. Opening up on 2 Grenadier squad. This conscript squad is actually going to not fare very well on its own. Down to 5 man, down to 4. Molotov does go down on top of the immediate Grenadier squad in front of it, forcing it away. Still a 4-man Grenadier squad throwing a rifle nade. Nice dodge there by Ippert. Manages to not take any damage from it. And a second conscript squad is coming up for the follow-up. They do run a little bit through the flames, probably taking a little bit of unnecessary damage, but just simply, scuffing the soles of their boots, melting them a little bit. Over here on the north, we see the conscript squad forcing away that Pioneer. Pioneer was trying to capture some territory. Grenadiers do back away, trying to hold the line, essentially, hold their ground. Down to 2 men against this 5-man conscript squad. They are going to be forced off of the field, so there's nothing currently on the field for Harju. He is pushing out with 3 Grenadier squads at the same time. One of those Grens, though, does get shot probably in the head from that conscript squad and falls down immediately. 1 Grenadier squad does have an LMG and is going to be able to put the hurt on the conscript squads. However, 2 of them are going to be able to spread the damage around. Rifle nade goes down onto this conscript squad, but they manage to shift position and dodge that quite nicely, only taking a little bit of health damage. 1 man does get shot on the move and falls down to the floor, dead, dying, and dead. MG42 on this house is going to deny the territory over here on the right-hand side to the conscript. The conscripts, though, do move into position to be able to throw a Molotov and haven't actually gotten suppressed even yet. Molotov does land nicely on the house and is going to do a lot of damage to that MG42. MG42 jumps out of the house. These conscripts have PPSHs, so they're going to do a lot of damage to the MG42 on the retreat, but at 4 men, it should be able to make it out alive. Conscripts over here jump into the house to try to hold the line against 3 Grenadier squads. Rifle nade flying into the house, getting 1 kill and doing a lot of health damage. Conscripts evacuate the house through the back door, and they're probably going to run away. There they go, instant retreat. We now see PPSH is getting equipped on most of the conscript squads. 2 conscript squads heading into the center. For Ippert with PPSHs themselves, they will be able to put a lot of hurt onto any Grenadier squads that come up to that. We see 2 Grenadier squads moving up. Still no tech for either player as far as we can tell. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite a lot of focus on the earlier techs, tier 1s. We do have tier 1 for Ippert, but he didn't actually get anything from tier 1. He is probably using this as a stepping stone to either get himself tier 4 if necessary, or hell, maybe even tier 3, but probably not his style. We hear a rifle nade go down. It looks like this one did a lot of damage over here. We see some corpses of conscripts just crawling around the ground there, and a conscript, single conscript retreating. So that was probably where it impacted. PPSH equipped conscripts going straight into the center, forcing away one Grenadier squad. There is another Grenadier squad trying to fend them off in light cover, but the conscripts of 6 men are simply just going to run right on top of them and open up with their PPSHs. They are going to try to also capture that strategic point and cut off the left-hand side resources for Harju, but with that MG42 set up to defend or support, they are going to be forced off of the field. Conscript squad crossing the road. They decided to run back and get into the heavy cover of that hail bale. We have a conscript squad going into the house also to try to get some vision and hold the territory, while more conscript squad flood the field and get back there for support. We now finally see that Harju has gotten himself tier 3 and is getting himself a Panzer IV. Panzer IV will be quite nice, giving Harju that nice advantage for a small amount of time, because we see that Ippert is himself getting tier 4 and is probably going to follow up with an Su-85 since he has more than enough fuel to do that. Well, we heard a nade go off, and I'm not sure where it was. Conscripts crawling through the open field, getting suppressed by that MG42. They do manage to crawl out of its firing range and are going to be able to throw a Molotov right on top of that MG42. There it goes. Nice Molotov. It's going to force that MG42 off. 2 of their men actually instantly catch fire, and the MG42 is forced off of the field. The other conscript squad was also suppressed by that MG42. Didn't actually get pinned and manages to force off a Grenadier squad, while the other conscript squad, well, pretty much forces away everything. We do have the Panzer IV hitting the field. Do we have 18-8? No, 18-8 do get researched instantly by Ippert. Very nicely. Very nice reaction, as we saw before. And the conscripts trying to just hold the ground against that Panzer IV, but no, they do end up taking a lot of losses, down to 3 men, and are forced off of the field. Sneaky Pioneer squad over on the right-hand side manages to decap the fuel for Ippert, slowing his income. So that's going to be a little bit of annoying for him. He's going to have to send another conscript squad to the right-hand side. We have on the left-hand side a conscript squad at full strength with PPSHs, just ready to capture that fuel point. It's probably going to move on to there after capturing this one over here. Panzer IV heading into the munitions sector is gonna basically cover this lone this lone Grenadier while it captures territory. And we now see that the Su-85 that we expected to get produced is now getting produced and hitting the field right now. And you can see it there coming down the road to reinforce. So very nice. We also see an Su-76. Very nice. We also saw that the last time. It's going to provide some additional firepower and support to that Su-85. And provide that ability to, do those barrages, which is very nice. I like the Su-76. It's a very nice unit. Panzer IV does get 18-8'd by the conscript, so we might see the Su-85 going over to try to hunt it down, but there is a Grenadier squad in between. It's a Vet 2 Grenadier squad, so it's going to be quite annoying and quite difficult to take out, and it could run the risk of getting Fausted. We see 3 conscript squads going into the center for Ippert, pushing away a Grenadier squad. The Grenadiers for Harju actually push forward and get a nice Faust off on that Su-85, getting a crit on the engine, and well, basically making so the Su-85 can't go chasing that that Panzer IV. Grenadier squad getting surrounded by 2 conscript squad at Vet 2, both of them. The Grenadiers are not going to be able to do a lot of damage to them. One conscript does go down to the Grenadiers, but one Grenadier actually goes down to the Su-85. Very nice support there by the Su-85. No, actually, it was to the conscripts. It just looked like it was the Su-85. Grenadiers do get forced off of the field. They notice that they can't actually do much against them. This Panzer IV is still moving back. Does take a shot at this conscript squad trying to decap that strategic point. It is actually going to be able to get the decap at the very least, cutting off the left-hand side resources for Harju, at least for the meantime. And the Su-85 is just back here waiting for some repairs to come. And there goes the combat engineers. Su-76 moving into the zone, opening up on nothing. It looks like the MG42 might have been there but is already shifted position, so the Su-76 is not going to get any shots in there. MG42 plus 2 Grenadiers pushing onto the left-hand side. They're going to try to force away that conscript. Conscripts actually retreat right away, not even holding line a little bit to engage. They figure it's not really worth it. And this conscript over here on the left-hand side will be able to decap that fuel. Currently, both fuels are in the possession of Harju, so Harju should be able to get himself something soon, and he's actually going to spend it in a Stug. Very nice decision there, getting himself a quick armor on the field, and with Su-85 on the field, plus, the Panzer IV plus the Stug, he actually stands a decent chance of killing that Su-85. So anyways, engagement in the center, we see the Su-76 just opening up on infantry, not actually doing much, because again, it's not a anti-infantry gun. The Grenadiers do get forced off of the field. MG42 sets up and fires through the hole in the hedgerows, and gets a suppression on the conscripts, and the conscripts manage to decap the victory point before the pin goes off. Conscripts on the left-hand side do manage to cap that fuel, but it isn't connected to Ippert's territory. Grenadiers, Vanilla Grenadiers going up against those conscripts. They are supported by that Panzer IV, so the conscripts are forced off of the field. Su-85 moves into the center after getting its engine repaired, and is basically just there waiting a command to see where it moves. Guard rifle getting produced by Ippert, not a bad choice. That is also going to give him extra anti-tank capabilities, and the ability to button if he decides to get that DP light machine gun, which is just fabulous. Combat engineers trying to lay down a mine in the center road. They are opening up with their flamethrower on those grenadiers. Nice artillery barrage there by the Su-76. Lands or nails the MG42, forcing it off the field. So nice retreat there. Oh my god, that was a beautiful shot by the Su-76. Kills 2 of those grenadiers on the retreat. Luckily for them, one of their brethren makes it out alive. At 3 squad at that, so very lucky there for Harju. That was a very nice shot by the Su-76. Panzer IV rushing into the center, actually crashing into the house. Took a little bit too long to hit the brakes, and it didn't go so well. But the combat engineer jump into the house, and quite to their surprise, they see a Panzer right in front of the house that has actually, poked a hole in the wall. So they decide to run away. The mine does get completed, so it's a nice, nasty surprise there for Harju. The Stug is on the field. It's holding position over on the right-hand side, right outside the base. It's not wanting to reveal itself. As far as I'm aware, Ippert does not know of the Stug just yet, so it might be a nasty surprise for him. Su-85 pushing forward onto this cutoff point, might be trying to force a reaction by Harju, maybe trying to get the Panzer IV to try to chase it, so we'll see what he's trying to do. Su-76 moving into the center. The Su-85 is just dancing around this point for some reason. Engagement in the center, we have conscripts Uraying into a rifle nade. No, the Guards rifle actually taking that rifle nade by the Grenadiers, taking some nasty damage there. Su-76 opening up on nothing. It looks like some squads were there, but retreating as well. So Panzer IV opening up on the conscripts in the house. House is pretty low in health, so it's a little bit of a risk there. Conscripts on the left-hand side engaging a Grenadier squad. Molotov goes right on top of the house. Harju, no, he's actually right on top of that. He manages to jump out of the house. Conscripts pushing forward and going to try to probably get an 18-8 on the tank. We see the Su-85 engaging the Stug. The Stug actually, no, it's getting shot at by the Su-76 and the Su-85. Very nice. Stug goes out of control, so very nice pickup there for Ippert. And the Panzer IV gets an 18-8 on the rear by the conscript squad. Conscripts are at 3 men. These Grants are very low in health and at 3 men, so they probably could have taken them. But unfortunately, the conscript is forced off of the field because there's a Panzer IV. And the Su-85 is now moving forward, probably trying to get that Panzer IV. A little bit of risky maneuver. There's a MG42 there. Interesting choice there. Molotov on the approach. I don't know if it was a blind Molotov or something, but I mean, I guess it's okay because units, if you're trying to send them over here, they're going to have to run through it, as you can see right there. So yeah, not bad. Actually doing a little bit of extra damage. Not going to get much, I mean, unless it gets a instant crit there, but, you know, it's going to just add a little bit extra damage there. It could actually, you know, mean the battle. Su-76 opening up on the MG42, forces it to repack and move away. Moves away before anything happens. Conscripts at 3 men, just opening up on these Grenadiers. It is actually surrounded by Grenadiers, so it has to retreat. Does retreat in between all the Grenadiers, but should be able to make it fine with that veteran C2. And the Su-76 and Su-85 decide to back away and just simply reposition. Pack gun getting produced for Harju. That's going to provide him some very needed support or defense against those tanks and the ability to potentially push. Su-85 and Su-76 opening up on the Grenadiers at the center victory point, but, well, both of them suck at anti-infantry, so they are not able to really get any kills. They are doing a little bit of damage, it looks like, but, you know, not getting any kills. Conscripts pushing forward, getting a little bit of a flank on those Grenadiers. They are behind them, while there was another Conscript squad in front of them. Molotov lands right on top of the Grenadiers, and the Grenadiers decide to retreat. They're going to go back at full strength, or 4 men, that is, and get healed up and hit this field with no manpower loss. Molotov landing on these Grenadiers. Grenadiers managed to just run out of the range of it, while 2 Conscript squad. Ooh, very nice rifle nade and retort. They're down to 2 men on that Vet 3 Conscript squad. But it is in heavy cover, so it's not in any immediate threat unless this other Grenadier squad decides to throw another nade. And Ippert decides to just simply retreat it. Grand squad at Vet 2 down to 1 man against this 5-man Vet 2 Conscript squad. Vet 3 Grenadier squad pushing forward against the Conscript. The Conscripts are actually just continuing. No, they decide to back off, trying to get that cut off, and then they do. Push on forward, but they're not down to 3 men. Very low in health. Artillery barrage falling right around the retreat path. Doesn't actually land on that Grenadier. Pack-on does get Molotov by this Conscript squad. The Conscript squad decides to retreat, not even taking any losses, actually dodging a rifle nade on the retreat. Pack-on does get decrewed, but will get easily recrewed in a matter of time. Conscript squad on the left-hand side are going for the munitions. We see the Panzer IV holding position behind that house in a very defensive position. It doesn't want to risk getting sniped by that Su-85. Panzer IV sees those conscripts, just reveals itself and says hello, forcing them off of the field. Conscripts take a little bit of shots, but I'm pretty sure we have medics, right? Yeah, we have medics already, so those conscripts will be hitting the field at full strength with no real issues. So far, victory point wise, it is pretty much Ippert's game. We see 495 to 260. Still not in an immediate, well, not to say threat, but you know, not a desperate situation for Harju. If he can continue to, you know, recap the center point, he can start, you know, swinging it a little bit in his favor and slowing the cap. So it's, you know, it's bad, but it's not desperate just yet. Conscripts rushing into the center, trying to stop those Grenadiers from getting the cap. They actually managed to do that and force them off of the field. Artillery barrage by the Su-76 doesn't actually manage to land anything. It was very near, but not on point. So the Grenadiers managed to get out of there with not a lot of damage. Rifle nade getting shot at those conscripts, doing a lot of damage to them. 2 men go down instantly to that rifle nade, and the Grants are pushing forward. They take a nasty shot there by one of those tanks, and some shots to the face by the conscripts. The conscripts are getting suppressed by that MG42. Second conscript squad moving into the zone to support the first conscript squad. Gonna get a lot of firepower onto that Grant squad. The Grant does have an LMG, taking some shots at those conscripts on the retreat, but with the Su-76 and Su-85 just constantly pelting that zone, there's very high risk that these guys could actually get killed, but they actually managed to make it out alive with 3 men. Now we also see an artillery gun getting produced for Ippert. Very nice choice there. He had a lot of manpower and fuel to spend. And actually, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this only cost manpower, so it was 600 manpower, so very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. He was starting to get a little bit high on the manpower, so very nice choice there to use that. And we actually hear the artillery gun fire. There comes the shots. Shots are going straight into the opening or entrance to the base, it looks like, trying to catch any squads coming out. It's actually quite accurate for a long-range shot. Look at those 3 shots right there, on point. Oh, there we go. One starts to drift off a little bit to the left. And one show. Wow, that was a very wide shot. Look at that. A lot of artillery getting pelted at the German base, but nothing actually connecting so far. So not a real problem right there. The howitzer did actually manage to get 1 kill, so not bad there. Not bad. And how's the SU-76? SU-76 up to 9 kills, 1 vehicle destroyed. It actually got the kill for the Stug and has gotten 8 infantry kills so far. Bet 1, so not bad. Not bad at all. Grenadiers pushing over to the right-hand side. We see combat engineers just laying down more mines all over the place. Very nice usage of mine by Ippert. We see 3 mines just laid down there already. Panzer IV still just being used at a very defensive position, holding the left-hand side of the map. We see a conscript squad trying to go for the fuel. It does run into a grenadier squad, which is at bed 3, so it might actually get taken out if it doesn't retreat. Down to 1 man, can it actually finish it off? They are focusing on the point. Unfortunately, they don't stop, and the grenadier is actually going to make it out alive. Center point, we see the conscripts capturing that victory point once again, and now the herd is going to start getting on to Harju for the victory points. Right-hand side, Grenadiers capping. We see Grenadiers in the center, opening up against 2 conscript squads and a guards rifle. We can almost guarantee that this Grand squad, even at Vet 3, is not actually going to win that. Although we see a very nice rifle nade hitting that conscript squad, doing a lot of damage. That was 4 men killed in 1 grenade, forcing it off of the field, even though it was already Vet 3. Conscript at Vet 3 pushing forward against the Grens, getting a lot of damage on that approach. Down to 2 men on the Gren squad. The LMG is actually doing quite a number on these conscripts, down to 4 men themselves. Very low health, that Grand Squad. Can he actually make it out alive? We shall see. Down to 3 men. Ooh, Grand Squad eliminated for Harju. So quite unfortunate there. That was a Vet 3 with the LMG, so he has lost that. Another artillery barrage coming down onto the base. Ippert is quite content to just simply artillery the base, trying to get kills on the men that are getting reinforced, and he could actually potentially get one. Well, fortunately, the shots are flying a little bit wide. Ooh, that one looks nice. Ooh, almost takes out the med bunker, but the Grenadiers actually managed to get out of there quite fine. Artillery gun being quite brutal for Ippert, doing quite a number of Harju. Second Su-85 produced for Ippert. It is hitting the field and hasn't actually done much. Actually, the other one hasn't actually done much either. It's done some damage, but hasn't even gotten a kill. Su-76 pushing forward, opening up an artillery barrage on the MG42. It looks like he actually knew where it was, but the MG42 is just going to pack up and move. Although that shot, that shot almost ran right into them. Very nice. That's why I love the Su-76. It's so versatile and so useful. Those artillery barrages are free and, constant harassment. Conscript squad do jump into the house. Again, very risky because it is a very low health house. Another conscript squad moves forward. Nice Molotov right on top of 2 squads. Pioneers get brought down to 1 man. Grenadiers down to 3. Not a lot of damage there. But the artillery gun is almost back in operational. And I can almost guarantee that the artillery strike is going to go into the enemy base. He knows he's retreated a couple squads. Is he actually going to toss it into the enemy base? We shall see. No. Oh, okay. Elephant hitting the field for Harju. He has selected the Jaeger armor doctrine. We see the artillery gun fire though. Let's see where it's actually landing. Is it going to go into the enemy base? Looks like it is. It's going straight into the enemy base. Probably going to take out the med bunker. Oh, very nice shot there. Actually takes one of the base sector bunkers and gets a kill on one of those Pioneers. Second shot destroys that med bunker, so quite unfortunate there for Harju. And yeah, those shots are just flying wide. There's no... Oh, this infantry was nearby that shot, but they managed to make it out. So it doesn't look like that artillery strike's going to do much else other than taking out 2 bunkers. Panzer IV heading into the center of the map with the Elephant behind it for support. Su-85 is trying to take out that Panzer IV. They might actually be able to do so. There we go. Down goes the Panzer IV, although it gets abandoned, so Ippert needs to shoot it. Otherwise, it's gonna get recaptured. He does move against the Elephant. No, take a shot at this. No, come on. Oh no. A little bit of an indecision there by Ippert. Is going to get his Su-85 killed, quite unfortunately. The Guards Rifle are opening up on the Panzer IV. Su-85 also gets abandoned. Probably the Guards Rifle or the Su-85 is going to open up on its own Su-85, I would assume. There's really no sense in jumping in and losing that. Elephant decides to take a shot. I don't know if it was at the Guards Rifle or the Su-85, but, clears it off. So Unfortunately for Ippert, it was a 1-to-1 trade on that Panzer IV, but he still has one Su-85, which is currently at half health, which is just fine. That Elephant, though, however, is going to be quite a threat against those Su-85s. Grenadiers forced off of the field at 2 men. The Guards Rifle are still intact, but they decide to retreat. Not entirely sure why they retreated fully, but, well, I guess he didn't want to take a chance at getting shot at by that Elephant. Elephant opening up on the Su-85 actually manages to take out its gun, almost kills it off completely. Su-85 turns around and gets shot in the rear by that Elephant, and down goes another Su-85. Thankfully for Ippert, he did produce another Su-85 on top of that, so he still has one there for support, but he's now going to have to back away and concede some of the map to Harju. That Elephant, pretty much what Harju needed. He is down to 177 points, needs to capture those victory points and stop that lead. Elephant moving up. Artillery strike coming into the base. Yeah, lands right in the enemy base. Actually gets a nice hit on those Grenadiers. It looks like it killed 3 of them. Grenadiers just running away because it knows that the strike is pretty much centered on the base sector, so he could risk getting killed if he tries to run back to reinforce. One more shot actually kills one of these Grenadiers with the splash damage. Grenadiers just holding line, and a nice direct shot by the artillery gun there on the base sector itself, or the HQ that is. But it takes a couple shots to pull it off, and I don't think the artillery is going to actually do much. There is a Grenadier squad retreating, but it isn't going to get there in time to catch that shot, so it's going to be fine. Elephant getting 18-aided by those conscripts, now has a damaged engine, didn't really do much as far as damage goes. MG42 pinning down one conscript squad, but it is getting flanked by another. PTRS rifles from the guards are doing some small amounts of damage to that Elephant. Do they actually still have 2 PTRS? Yeah, they do. So yeah, they're going to do a little bit of damage. Su-85 could potentially move into the zone to take some shots, but it's too much of a risk because it doesn't have anywhere to hide and get out of the range. Another 18-8 going down on top of the Elephant. Guards Rifle opening up on the Elephant itself have actually done a little bit of damage. They've done about 10 to 15% damage so far. And we see the Su-85 just pushing forward. It's actually going to try to go for the Elephant and get some shots. Although it notices now that the... whoa, what is that? Oh, that sounded like some type of off-map. It notices, though, that the Elephant has managed to back away from the Bunning. The Bunning has run out. And even though it has a damaged engine, it has a far superior gun in range than the Su-85, so, not a bad decision to just simply back away. Grenadiers pushing into the center. They are going to get naded by those Guards Rifles. Nice damage there on the nade. Gets one of them. Nice rifle nade by those Grenadiers. Actually gets this conscript squad down to 1 man. It's a Vet 3 conscript squad. Get it out of there. Ippert's going to get killed. Does throw a Molotov, and the Grenadiers retreat, so quite luckily that conscript squad makes it out alive very nearly. There was a follow-up Gren with an LMG, so it might have died to that if not retreated. Conscript squad on the right-hand side hitting some shots from that Elephant. They should be able to run out of its line of sight through that hedge, and they do so right there. Su-76 taking some shots into the center of the map. Might I even consider throwing a barrage, but it's already utilized that, unfortunately. The artillery gun is operational, so it's able to be used. Conscripts decide to throw a Molotov and run into its own fire, taking a lot of unnecessary damage to themselves. Down to 2 men. This Su-76 has... No, it didn't actually kill any friendly, so this was all their own doing. And they're going to capture the point and probably retreat after that. Artillery barrage falling again right into the base sector. Might actually got 1 kill on a Grenadier. 2-man Grenadier squad, 3 men. They're all spreading out very nicely. The base sector has taken a lot of damage. Very nice shot there. Almost kills off that entire Gren squad. Down to 2 men. I mean, down to 1 man, but gets a reinforcement to replace that. Very lucky there. And the Grens are now spread out. So very nice tactic there by Ippert because it forces Harju. Oh my god, that was a beautiful artillery shot right there. Goes right on top of an entire Gren squad and takes it out completely. Wow. And more shots are still coming in. Su-76 opening up on the MG42. The MG42 taking some shots down to 2 men. We see our conscript squad right inside the enemy base. doing a lot of damage. The MG42 is not moving. He's actually quite lucky to still be alive. Elephant getting harassed by the Su-85, and we see guards and conscripts. He's actually managed to do about half damage to that elephant, but the Su-85 has taken a nasty shot by that elephant gun and is... Ooh, second shot takes it out completely. Side armor shot. Buttoning going down on the elephant. Could have used that buttoning a little bit earlier to, you know, stop that shot from going down, but unfortunately wasn't able to get it. And the elephant is now at half health, but, well, Ippert doesn't really have much he can do against it. I mean, he could call in some more Su-85s, you know, maybe get 2 and try to overwhelm it with sheer firepower, but unfortunately Su-85s don't have turrets, and, well, that is the weakness to an elephant, a turret. Very slow to turn. But for the most part, Ippert has managed to keep control of the game. He's also keeping control of most of the territory, and most importantly, the victory points. We see conscripts all over in front of the base. MG42 is set up to defend, but I mean, it's pretty much a battered base right now. The artillery gun is already online again, so he can probably throw another artillery barrage right on top of it, and there it comes. Let's see how good it does. The Su-76 is also shooting to support. Very nice shot right on top of the MG. Artillery shot landing behind the base sector. Su-76 still opening up on the base. Oh my god. MG42 getting taken out. There's no base sector bunker here to stop the conscripts from simply running in. Grenadier squad had one man retreating, almost taking a shot to the face by that mortar. Molotov landing on the Grenadier squad over here at 2 men. Oh my god, very nice shot there. Very nearly kills the squad. It managed to actually get, oh my god, it gets a man before it got hit by the other Grenadier squad. It takes a direct shot by that artillery. Down goes tier 2, or tier 1, what was it? I forgot. But oh my god, it's a manslaughter here. Bloodbath. Conscripts also capture the victory point on the left-hand side, so we now have a triple capped Harju, which is now down to 26 points. So I think this is going to be game very nice here by Ippert. Very dominant, very impressive. Very nice use of this doctrine. I rarely see the howitzer gun being utilized, and it is a very interesting choice and very effective choice. I mean, there's logic behind it to shoot just simply into the enemy base. Flak pants are getting produced for Harju. Surprises the Scottish rifle and actually forces them off of the field quite nicely. The elephant is still there, but, well, not much. Not really a point anymore because, well, that is it. Victory points down to 0. And Ippert takes the win. So very nice play by Ippert again. Very solid play, I say. I mean, I would personally like to see Ippert participate in the Sunday Night Fight tournaments that are gonna be happening rather soon, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I mean, he's a very solid player, so I would very much like to see him participate in those tournaments and see if you know, see if he can win some of them. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. If you have any positive or negative remarks, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. If you have any replays you want to send me, go ahead and send them to the email that I will put in the description below. But otherwise, I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.